Shabbat Shalom, everyone. What a beautiful Saturday, day after Christmas morning. Ooh, and that sun is bright. Woo! I'll have to move that. Goodness. Beautiful day. So, I've been going through, a lot of the stuff in the house as I'm packing it up. And, kind of come through, some processes of things. And one of the things that's come up is, that inherent need to resist. The resistance of, having to do what you gotta do, having to feel what you gotta feel, moving yourself through whatever season in life you're in. But see, the resistance is there for a reason. And I'm going to get into a little story about one of my favorite creatures in the whole universe, the lobster. Lobsters are incredible creatures. They're quite amazing. First of all, they mate for life. Lobsters do. And secondly, and I think this is the most important thing, lobsters with their exoskeletons, they grow. And unlike crabs, their shells will soften up when it's time for them to grow, and it stretches as they grow, and so it's much more comfortable. But for a lobster, in order for the lobster to grow, he's got to get very uncomfortable. He's got to get extremely uncomfortable, actually, because he's got to grow beyond the size of his shell, which means that he's got to basically, as he's growing, break every single bone in his body. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that feels like, to break every single bone in your body? Wow. But they do. And they have to crack out of that shell, just like a chick cracks out of its egg. Except when the chick cracks out of its egg, it doesn't regrow a new shell around it. But the lobster does. And it takes a while. I'm not quite sure how long it takes, but in order for the lobster to grow, he's got to get so uncomfortable that he's literally breaks free. So that's a lesson for us in the fact that when things are really uncomfortable in our lives, no matter what the situation is, when things are really uncomfortable, you're at the precipice of growth, massive growth and massive change. And the last 10 years for me have been very uncomfortable. Very. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I don't resist it anymore. Because now I understand that resistance was me being uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable meant that I was growing. And even though there was a part of me that knew that, while it was all going on, it doesn't make it any easier to deal with. But we do. We've got to deal with it. Otherwise, it goes back to that old adage, you gotta get busy living or get busy dying. I'd rather live. You see this beautiful world. To affect change in this beautiful world, I want to make people uncomfortable. I really do. I want to make people very uncomfortable because I want to see them grow. I want to see them flourish. I want to see them challenge themselves in ways that they never thought that they could. I want to see the world a better place because it's really uncomfortable right now. Worldwide, uncomfortable. That means we're growing. That's a good thing. may not necessarily be something we want to do, which brings us to that resistance. Resistance is actually there to create friction so that we're more aware of that uncomfortableness. What do I mean by that? Well, when you fight so hard against something, so hard against it that you end up spinning your wheels, it's then that you need to stop and take a look at what's going on. What's making you resist? What's making you fight? And ask yourself, if you're fighting against what's right in front of you, or you're fighting against yourself. So that's the trick, is to admit that we fight against our own selves. A lot of times you see people who are very angry and they point fingers and they sit there and call out every flaw of every other human that they come across. And it makes you wonder, are they angry at the other person, or are they angry at themselves because they don't like something in someone else that they themselves are guilty of but unaware that they are? So anytime you hear somebody complain, or yourself complain about somebody else and a habit of theirs, or something they said, or something they did, ask yourself, am I guilty of that too? And if I am I upset that they're doing it, or am I upset because I see it in others and it's not pretty, and yeah, I do that too. Wow. So with that, I'm going to leave you. And I forgot to do my intro, so here it is. Miriam the Levite with you today, bringing you just another piece of wisdom, another way to make your lives better. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday, day after Christmas. If you can avoid going out today, I highly recommend it. I cannot, as I am running low on boxes and packing materials, and I can't stop just because I gotta keep going. I gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward with life. So, blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful day.